Yeah. I noticed last week, I was actually the only one that put in my wants and needs. So I'm going to scan this because I have 2 other new listings coming up. And so we just take a moment right here, guys, and we scan it. And it's going to ask you some questions about your property. And then Bradley's going to share it out so we can still push the deals together. It's super easy, but it's a good way to share your upcoming listings and things that are going on that you want to share in the market. So we're just going to try this out and see how it goes for a bit. Today, we have Tech Bar with Bradley Green. And I will tell you that I have a 100% guarantee that you will not be disappointed walking out of Tech Bar today. So if you have any questions, Bradley, is there something specific you want to say about Tech Bar? I gave him a guarantee.
Today, for practice, Bradley busted because he knows commands so well. He was able to overcome some core objections with just command.
Love it. Wouldn't that be helpful to you in your business? I think it would. Go see Bradley today. Tomorrow and Thursday at 9:30, we have conversational frameworks with Tim and Allison. I was listening to it outside, as you guys know, inside my office. I can hear you guys, everything you're saying. And I was listening to it this morning. It was so good. So awesome job. Come to that if you want to. Tomorrow, from 11 to 12, Sean's going to be covering the new construction RETC. So you guys, we're in for a huge treat with Emily today, teaching us some new construction and how to add value to that conversation. And I think this is the spot that some people get intimidated by, so they don't approach builders. They don't want to talk to their clients about new construction. So make sure that you understand it. I'm super excited. Emily was back by popular demand today. But tomorrow, we thought it would be good to just cover the new construction RETC too, so you can come and get all your questions asked. I have an agent that's been in the business for kind of a while, and recently we had a conversation that he's never sold new construction. And so if that comes up or that comes into a situation, he's going to feel a little uncomfortable maybe having that be a piece of what he offers to his clients. So come to the new construction contract tomorrow with Sean at 11. And then on Thursday from 11 to 12, we're going to have providing value to cold website and AD leads with Bradley.
AD is ad.
Oh, I was like, AD. Oh, an ad leads. Okay. Please, I got it. Love it, love it. Okay. Not cooking. Okay, mega agent camp. You guys, it really is like last chance because now tier 2 pricing ended. Here's what I'm gonna tell you. If you want to go now, don't even buy your website here. Like, just ignore this.
Yeah, go
on to Facebook, and there's an official mega camp website. Go there, and someone will be selling it for not tier 3 pricing. There's a fact for you.
I'm on the fence about going.
Okay, so let's ask around if you want to go. Don't go pay $1,300. That's silly. Tim and Allison, look how cute these little babies are. This was back when Tim was like the most popular. He has really lost traction since then, but he was pretty popular then. And you know, he's going back to his roots of teaching conversational mastery. So there's those 2 little cuties. Probably need a baby picture of Allison. Tomorrow, I know a ton of you guys have been asking about this and looking forward to it. So you guys know how amazing Kimber is. Janelle is also a tech trainer in South Texas. And you know, they do everything bigger in Texas. So it's going to be interesting to see if anybody can out Canva Kimber. But the 2 of them are going to be here. We can do a watch party if you guys want to. That'd be awesome.
And I was wondering if we wanted to do a watch party, if we wanted to cancel script for tomorrow, because it would be at 9:30. And that starts at 9.
Who wants to come to the Canva? Keep calling Canva on. Who wants to do scripting? Okay, keep calling Canva on. We can script maybe at the end. This is going to be really good, and it's AI edition. 2 hours will be well worth your time. We actually canceled our weekly leadership meeting so that we can attend this because it's going to be super awesome. Our fun summer event, the Ogden Raptors game, is coming up. It is next Wednesday, August 6th. Please make sure you register so we know how many of your cute little faces are planning to be there. This is an event you can bring your family to. I have had a couple people ask if they can get more tickets than the 6 that we're allocating. It's just going to depend on how many we sell, because I want to make sure we give our agents first opportunity. So if you're needing, maybe you have a little larger family, you're needing a few extra tickets, send Vincy an email. She has a waiting list. So if we have a few extra tickets at the end, we can hopefully accommodate everybody that wants to go. But it's going to be super fun. Come out to the ball game with your family, and thanks to our sponsors on that. Yeah, just bring your favorite kids if you have a lot of them. That's what I would do. But my dog can't even go into the ballpark, so Sunny's gonna be sad. Okay, Q2 market update is next Tuesday with Marcus Green. You guys know he always brings fire content that's not just the stats, it's about the stats and now how do we go tell the story, which is the biggest thing that I see that is lacking right now because people hear things in national news and if they don't have a local expert telling them what's happening here locally, or you don't know how to give that story to your clients, they're getting the story from someone. So why not you, right? Make sure that as you're making your calls, you're doing it in a TCPA friendly and compliant way because why? We don't want you guys to put your hard-earned money towards fines and insurance does not cover that. So it's all on you, babes. Okay, our home inspect, we're gonna cruise through today because I want to give Emily plenty of time, but we have Wyatt, who is our on-site home inspector. And Wyatt, I think it's your first time here, right?
Yes.
Awesome, welcome.
Well, as you can see, I am Wyatt with the on-site home inspections. A little bit about me, I've been inspecting for about 7 years. My father actually owns one of the top 3 biggest home inspection companies in the nation down in Texas. And I moved up here to kind of join a separate company. We have everything that you need, meth, radon, mold, infrared testing, all of that fun stuff. The biggest thing, if you text that number or email us, I'll give you $100 off any of those ancillary services. And we will guarantee same day or next day inspections. So, get in those due diligence periods early and just get that done so you have all the time to get anybody else out there. I heard a great person, feel free to use this, but heard a great person say, it can be scary sometimes to get, electrician, plumber, whoever else out there to further evaluate. A good term for it would be you need to expand your real estate transaction team. So you feel free to use that, but either way, yeah, hope you enjoy lunch, but get $100 off any of those ancillary services that you need.
Okay, awesome, thanks, Wyatt. What area do you serve?
I'll go from, I did an inspection in Delta the other day.
Oh, that's okay.
I think Logan.
Nobody lives there.
Yeah, but Logan down to, I did Wales the other day, so really wherever.
Kind of wherever.
Yeah, we will figure it out.
We don't even know where Wells is. Julie's
UK.
Googling it right now. Okay.
Same thing.
So we'll send out his contact info in our recap email. So just a fun reminder, the recap email goes out usually same day or next morning. It gives you all the details, including who our sponsor was and any special offers that they have. So Wyatt, thank you for the $100 off. We're going to have you quickly grab lunch so that you can sit and we're going to lunch and learn because we want to give Emily her full time. So grab lunch, we'll get her stuff pulled up and then so grab it and sit here and eat. Is that okay? Yeah. Okay, thanks everybody. Thanks, Wyatt. What's your me and my niece did and then my
Maybe not. For you.
Yeah.
Kind of stuck in your head.
Yeah, it was really. Water.
So they're. They don't look like that out. Oh, let's give me more.
No,
That's
no,
fine.
yeah.
Girls
Yeah.
never have to check it. So, remember that we were really excited about it. And so I just
I don't want to. Just.
But they've done it. They've done all the things. Or,
Yeah.
so for them, yeah, this is fun. Like, you lost trust, so. How old are they? Hayden's 20. Almost. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, that's really my they're not gonna do anything. But they're just very young and they're they don't want to. They do their people to be in, right? Yeah, and it's $1,000 and you gotta put it off. So they're friends later, but they're not, you know, 20 yet. No, we have this right here that should be. The only thing is sometimes if someone in the audience has a question, I'm gonna tell you, right? If they don't speak loud, you can't connect them. Got it? Okay. And then how do I? That was I should clear. And then sometimes if like somebody joins the Zoom a little later, yeah, and Bradley comes out. You'll just look at Bradley. She'll just like, and he'll. Decided on this one? Yeah, that's beautiful. Exciting.
Yeah, well, what if I put the mind of
Decided to buy this 50 bed. This is beautiful. Congratulations. We're in the contract.
I'm just telling, son, that the agent is what we're doing. They still hold it. First time. And, I'm just 4 hours before the reset.
They.
Through all of that, it was allowed me to, I've never been offered, man, because
Yeah.
I thought,
Yeah.
I think it's like,
Figured it out.
so solve that up. It's not already.
Good. Awesome.
What's next? Representing. That was another.
Okay, thank you.
Young couple.
Good.
I'm all like, my experience is so.
So should I keep people on their toes?
Rather, when did my stop time?
1:30.
Right? Do like a thousand, you're propane it. I just feel like I got better.
So next to you.
I'm just gonna be right behind you, so I can still reach out and say hello.
Don't be offended by we're trying to.
I'm gonna move back up. Just take. If I can get rid of- But you can take.
Can I just come make a copy of it?
I try to end the week too, so.
Oh, I don't think so, you know.
Bradley. You can. It was. So we have to get the pictures. To get people and.
Yeah.
It's kind of a big deal around here.
It was kind of on the
A little bit.
My first day here, my dad, and probably was teaching. Stand next to me, I'll make you look good.
Hey, do you want to start it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Hey, I am so excited to be here. Who came? It's been a few years that I taught up here before. Were any of you here before? Yeah, thank you. Okay. So we're trying to adapt it. A lot's changed between then and now. But I'm just telling them back there too. I am a Layton girl. That's where I grew up. I went to East Layton Elementary, Central Davis Junior High, Layton Lancer. Here, so we just moved my parents away a few years ago up to Logan, but this is my spot. I grew up right where Gentile and Oakwood Hills, right across where that temple is, house and sport court. You can now egg it, we don't live there anymore. But that was my house that I grew up in. So I love this place. I love any opportunity. Come and be up here. This is mine. Cool. So first of all, I want to kind of get a sense.
Emily, do you know what I forgot to do is introduce you and who you
I'll
are?
have a little thing.
Okay, perfect. I was like, I
Don't
forgot to do that, so.
Yeah,
Okay.
don't worry. That's okay.
Awesome.
I think it's kind of, and it's actually a requirement with CE is that you have to be able to show why you're qualified to be able to teach the thing that you're teaching. And this is a class that I wrote. I've been teaching, it's kind of grown over time, but so it's way easier to brag about other people. It's hard to brag about yourself. So I have like a slight brag slide, just so you know that I am qualified to talk about these things that we're talking about. Just want you to be able to have a little bit of confidence in that. So also, this is a total open forum. Everything can be asked. I want everybody to feel like you're walking away with some answers to some questions. Hopefully it sparks some questions, some thinking back through kind of some clients or potential clients. That's the number one goal, is to spark business, right? Get some new thoughts, new actions even. Is there somebody that you think could potentially sell their land or any sort of business building thought? Okay, so maybe have a spot where you can write it down, where you can, put your questions out, different people you need to connect with, that sort of thing. And then I'd love to help you make some of these connections. So if you're having a conversation with someone and you're not exactly sure what their options are or anything like that, I've been involved in, development and entitlement and all that kind of stuff, anywhere from raw ground to close on the house. I've been doing that for over 20 years. So I'd love to help make some connections for you and help you get through this, okay? Who is comfortable with new construction? Okay. Who could explain somebody 100% from raw ground, meaning it's likely agriculture, okay? So from zoned agriculture, from raw ground to you closed on your house, who could step somebody through the building process with confidence? Okay, we have a couple.
From like
A
purchasing
custom
the
home?
property or from like,
So let's say from purchasing the property, it's just a lot, like walking somebody through the build process. Who feels confident that they can add value as an agent in representing a buyer when there's the builder has their own agent that's like doing the walks, stuff like that? You feel like you've got value to add in that? Okay, who could use a little bit of help with that? So being on the other side, been on both sides, right? Worked as a model home agent for a long time, been on that side, and I've seen all of that, everything between the agent that is very knowledgeable, helpful partner. And I've seen the side where somebody comes in, a buyer comes in on their own. You help them find the house, you figure it out, spending hours, and then, oh, my uncle is my agent. Can he get paid twice as much as you're gonna get paid? To do nothing. And then pop in at the final walk because they're nervous about getting paid and find a billion flaws with the house. I've also been on that side, which is, I've been on all the sides of it, right? So that's really, we wanna help you feel helpful in this process. Also open your mind to, you know, not being nervous about what's out there, introducing more possibilities for your clients. It's a tricky time. I don't know, is it better here? Should I move here? Is
Yes,
it better than
definitely.
Salt
You
Lake County?
should, but it is
Definitely
a tricky
back.
time here too. But yes, you should move here.
It's
Obviously.
Yeah, the divorce.
Miles,
I
yes.
I can't be further than 30 miles. Dang it. Maybe we'll all just go back. Well, it's a tricky time, as you all know. And so I want to open up some of the possibilities for you. Have you kind of reframe and rethink what options there are for your clients, because they have access to everything that you do in theory, right? In theory. And there is an argument to that. So how can we really provide the value that people need? And we're creating and building and strengthening these relationships for life. Is that a good deal? Well, that sound like what you want to do? Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we kind of already went through that. These are the rules for CE, blah, blah, blah. Just write your name down in the license. All right, so this is me. The reason why I picked this picture is because I do a big part of what I do now is I do the design side. So structural design and all the design. So all the pictures that you'll see in here, they're houses that I've designed, finishes that I've picked, floor plans that I've drawn and things like that. That's now in later in my career is a big part of what I'm passionate about. If I could only do that, that would be the most fulfilling thing for me. I love being involved in that side of it, and I love making, creating beautiful. That's a big part. So I started out in 2004 and started out as an assistant for a builder. And I went to this community that was in the middle of nowhere. It was about 7 or 8 minutes from the closest area, which was Jordan Landing at the time. And I had just gotten married, just moved down to this big Salt Lake County world. And we decided to buy a house, and my experience was really great in building a house. And so I wanted to work for the company, it's Richmond American Homes at the time. They hired me as an assistant, and one of the opportunity days for me was this community we were building, and this is 2004. And in 2004, who was in the business in 2004? Who lived in a house in 2004? Okay, some sort of living structure in 2004. At that time, what was the aesthetic for the outside of the home? What were we going for? Mud. Anything that resembles some shade of mud. Okay, we were taking all the siding down. We were like plastering brown on all the houses. Okay, that was the thing. What were we looking for in terms of lot size? Things like that.
Big lots.
Big lots. People were kind of moving more rural out. Some of these outskirt areas were being really built. The west side of Davis and Weber County was really growing and expanding to be able to get some of these large plots. That was the trend that was happening there. Well, this community that I started working in, I was the assistant. It was a community where there wasn't any through streets to the freeway. The lots were tiny. There was a bunch of different types of products, new products, different products. And every house was full siding. There was some stucco, but in the beginning it was full siding. Brightly colored, like the brightest colors in this room, let's combine them on the same house, okay? And the ground was contaminated. P.S. 65-page disclosure on the contaminated ground. So one of the big opportunity days for me was when an agent, who was the lead agent there, kind of lost her mind and was screaming and yelling at everyone. And she got fired. And so I begged, I know I just got licensed like 4 days ago, but please give me a chance. Let me try this community. So that was through the end of 2004 to the beginning of 2000. Who has an idea of what Salt Lake County community this could possibly have been? Daybreak. So I was in the first model home complex in the first 16 models in Daybreak, and that's been a big part. So actually, Bill, who's been down to the South Valley office? Down there. So I'm the OP of the South Valley office now. And I built that building, the office right there at the base of Daybreak. That's like my brain, the new construction homes. I could see my models up in Daybreak from my window there, just different builders that I worked with there in South Jordan. And so that was a huge opportunity for me. Right before the market really erupted at that time, I was able to build a ton of houses, and then got into leadership and did that for a while. Had my kids. 2008. Actually, remember, I was involved in, whenever I drive past on the freeway here in Kaysville, one of our communities in Richmond, they all had the bar tile roofs. And I remember I was a sales manager and the principal broker in 2008 for Richmond American. We had closed 1,000 homes the year before. We were busy, 50 communities everywhere. And we had people that had signed their houses, but the loans didn't fund. The lender wasn't there anymore. So I remember you had people who were under contract at this price, but we needed to sell all these inventory homes. So we had to make huge changes. So if you notice, this is a sign for me of the times driving past this community, you can see off of I-15, where half of the homes have bar tile roofs and half the homes are asphalt shingle. Now you're gonna notice it.
Now we're gonna notice, yeah.
Because we stripped everything out. Just in the process, if the house was 50% bar tile roofs, we were like taking it down, asphalt sheet was just trying to bring the cost down. So I've been 21 years, but I feel like I have more miles than years since that 2006, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 was, woo,
That was hard.
crazy, right?
Years time.
Yeah, it was crazy. And being in the building industry. So 2008, the builder laid all the leadership off, let everybody go. They actually fired the president because he wouldn't let us go. So they let him go. And then we, with this local guy here that you guys might know, Colin Wright, started Henry Walker Homes in 2010. And it was just those of us that got laid off. There was a small group of 5 of us, and we built Henry Walker and then sold to Oakwood Homes, and then Henry Walker's back. They're here. And then CW Urban came out of that. So there's a lot of these little offshoots, Whole West Homes, Jack Fisher, all of that is little offshoots from this core group of us that started 2004 and have kind of gone on to build their own things. So now I've helped launch builders. I represent a builder now. I help like consult and things like that. So this is a little bit of my journey. And then in 2015, I was hired as the team leader for South Valley, and then became the OP, and I love it. It's great. I love working with all the different offices and getting to know I love how we all help each other.
What builder do you work with now?
I represent Lafferty Communities
Oh, okay.
now. Very cool. We have LOIs on land right here in this area and up as far as Perry right now. So we're looking to kind of grow. Everybody's coming this way. Everybody's coming. They're abandoning South Utah County. I'm telling you, everybody is right here. DR Horton has thousands and thousands and thousands of lots under contract here, where it just still zoned agriculture. You never know. There's a lot of stuff. This is the new spot. West Haven, all these new made up towns. They're on that West Side, Taylor. I'm like, Taylor, why are you throwing all these towns in? Because I feel like I know this area, and they're like, it's in Taylor. What? This is the new made up town, but there's a lot happening up here. So you guys are at the hub of what's just about to explode. It's just sitting in a holding pattern all along this area. The unincorporated Ogden areas is about a wreck. Everyone's got land. We're competing against everybody right now. So you're in the spot. Okay, so quickly, I just want to hear, what do you want out of this class? I want you to walk away. I'm gonna write a list real quick, but you're so glad you came to the flag. What do you want to get out of it? Okay, secret.
I'm only secret.
Are you at my house? At my
That one doesn't work.
Market Center house, I throw things at over.
I do too. I was like, just throw it at
I always
me.
throw markers.
Yeah, just throw it. It doesn't work.
Secret. Tips and tricks. Okay, great. What else?
I'd like to know how to represent the builder, like how to.
Guess what? I have a feedback on that. A whole class on it. We'll touch on it. But if you want me to come and teach that, I did on the
Yeah.
please.
Let's have you teach
Let's
that.
do it. Did we switch? You want me to teach that instead? But no,
Part two, not today.
Emily part two. Okay, yeah, I would like, actually, I was going to, oh, I'm ready to go. Okay, what else?
I think it would be helpful for you to go over, because we hear this a lot. I think that there's agents who aren't sure how to talk about value with
Yeah.
new construction, with their client.
Yeah, with their buyers.
Don't be shy, guys. This is your chance to learn from an expert.
Anything else?
I'd like to know the top 5 questions clients typically will ask about new construction.
Ooh, good one. Is that?
And then I'd also like the top 5 questions clients either forget or are afraid or don't know to ask about new construction.
What should they know? Okay, great. And background.
So as an agent, lots of times, we're very confident in our own contracts.
Yes.
And when you're working with new construction, lots of times they have their own contracts. And you want to feel like you're doing a good job representing your client, and all of a sudden you're thrown like a 30-40 page contract
Yeah.
that you are not familiar with.
Totally. I'm so glad that you're doing that class tomorrow on the new construction FC. There's so much to that I don't have time in this class to be able to go through that. But we do touch on the contracts and kind of the philosophy behind why so many builders have their own contracts and what you need to look out for in those contracts, because the majority of the time these builders are gonna have their own. And when should you be using the new construction? Rexy, so that'll be awesome for him to teach that tomorrow. He'll be able to dive way deeper into that particular contract, and then I can talk about the builder today. Anything else? Okay, that's okay. And hopefully we spark some more questions as we go along. All right, so really quick, I have a quiz. Do you want to click on that? Let's just go through these 10 questions really quick. Okay, what does the pre-construction phase mean in the building process? A, home is being built. B, the home has been completed. C, the builder starts planning and obtaining permits. D, home is in final inspection. Yep, good job. 2, what is the purpose of a framing inspection in new construction? To inspect the foundation, check the structural integrity of the skeleton of the house. C, to install appliances. D, to peak walls. Okay. 3, which of the following is a common building material used for the exterior framing in new construction? Can be a trick question because not every area is built this way, and actually there's a lot of areas, even in Utah, that build differently. But generally, what type of framing is it? So it's stick frame. 4, what is the difference between a spec home and a custom home? Built to the buyers. We have to read all that. I'll read the question, you read the answers, and you tell me what you think. How's that? Just kind of read through them quickly.
Maybe you should put it a little early. You can zoom in on it.
C.
We can't see it.
It's here,
So they're zooming it in a little,
C.
too small for us
Okay.
old people.
That's where you sit in the front row, people.
Utah, a lot of what we say on the spec home is it's a builder's house. It's all the finishes have been selected. So it could even be just ground. So when your client is wanting this lot, but they want to choose their carpet, why can't we choose the carpet if it's just dirt? Already been chosen. If it's been chosen, sometimes the builder won't let you make a change. It's still stuck even if the construction hasn't started from what you can see. Right?
You think Nielsen Homes in this area thinks spec home? Nielsen Homes does all spec.
Oh,
home
yeah.
now. They
Yeah,
don't do
so
anything
many.
custom anymore.
They have so many, a lot of builders have really gone to that.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, HVAC, What does that mean? A, it's right. Which of the following is typically included in the finished phase? Foundation, installing drywall, building the frame, excavating the site. Yep. 7, what's the C of O? We here we say C of O, or CO, certificate of occupancy. What is that? Yep. And fun fact, so the difference between a certificate builder that doesn't have their own contract, the difference between using a regular rep seat and the new construction rep seat, do you know what it is? Yep, there's a C of O. Which of the following is a potential risk that can cause delays? Weather, preferences or upgrades, market trends, all the above. Changes are not your friend. They're expensive. It's most of the time done wrong. And no one's ever happy at the end. Changes are not your friend. So try in the beginning to just have everything lined out. Okay, builder's warranty. Guarantee they will not experience delays. Document that guarantees the home will be free of defects for a certain period. A form that details buyer's rights during the sale process. Document confirming finance. Yeah. Sometimes they call it bumper to bumper. That's the nail pop walk. What role does a general contractor play? Designs the home, manages the construction, secures financing, sells the completed home. And the other part of that B is that it's just like the broker's license in a brokerage. They're carrying the liability. The GC carries the liability for everything that's happening on site. Okay. Did anybody learn anything? I have a bonus question for a gift card that I don't have. I'm going to get you later. Tell me what is four-way.
Raise your hand.
What's four-way?
Framing, electrical, plumbing, heating.
Framing, electrical, plumbing, heating. Yep, 2 more things. Well, 1 more
That's
always.
4.
Yeah, there's 4, but
Well,
windows. You have to have windows. So 4-way, very good. You're good. But 4-way is where everything's dried in, essentially, so the roof is on, and it's an inspection with the city. But it's also an inspection, should be an inspection with your client. We'll kind of go through the process a little bit.
so then question for you, is that not windows and doors on the secure, is it just windows?
Depends on the process. They won't pass final without windows and doors, but oftentimes, I mean, not final, but 4-way, they won't pass it with the city without those. But oftentimes they'll do a first walk with the city, and then when it passes, there's the first. Yeah, windows is a big part of it because of air. Okay. Oh, no, I get to go next. Okay. Let's get that one. Okay, these are the 10 different things we're gonna go through. Understanding what your value is. What the consultation, I want to go through some things with that. Matching builder, development and home, showing and evaluating homes, making an offer, the contract, financing, construction process, your role in the process, closing everything. Okay, so understanding your value. Why new home buyers need representation. So the example that I gave you of the uncle. Sometimes I do feel like we don't always earn our commission. Is that like, I know that's not maybe a very popular.
It's fair.
Maybe this is a better way to say it. Sometimes the person on the other side of the transaction doesn't earn their commission. Is that easier? Is that easier to kind of feel and see? And we see that a lot in construction, and a lot of it kind of can come out of fear. What value do you bring? Why do you believe that they should be represented by you? Yeah. Let's just like spitfire a couple. Why? Why should you represent them? Yeah.
I think a lot of times people don't understand what they're actually getting into. So it's
Guide them, educate them.
I think my value comes because if I come to the model home, that person obviously wants to sell them. And it might not be the right fit for my client,
Yeah.
even though it's pretty and fun.
Yeah.
And I'm like the voice of reason sometimes that if it's outside your budget, this is not what you said you wanted, things change.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and it's all just a self-discovery for our clients, right? So
Who
it's their,
doesn't fall in love with your construction?
Yeah.
Everyone.
I am moving right now. P.S. I don't want to list my house, so don't tell anyone that I'm about to tell you that. Yeah, I don't want to list it because every other week I have 4 kids and 4 dogs, and then I have no kids and no dogs. So I just don't want to put everybody through it. So I don't want to list it, but I want you to sell it. Will you sell my house?
Yes.
I'll pay you 3.5.
Send us the details.
Okay. I'm serious. Find me a buyer.
So what kind of moving you?
I'm going to be stoked by family school. Yeah. But anyway, you need to go buy a house. It's hard. If you haven't bought a house for a while or sold a house in a while, you need to do it. Because it's hard.
And it's emotional.
It's emotional. You're taking I forgot to ask you what your like tolerance of squares is.
Emily,
I have construction.
Center girl, you're fine.
Try it.
Stop it.
You're not gonna hurt anybody.
Surprise us.
I would say, on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your F word threshold? I just gotta know, because I just gotta feel like myself.
You're
I'll not say the F word to you,
You're safe.
but some others may slip out. I have a very bad copy. For some reason. So people are trying to figure out how to take all their shit and put it in somebody else's house, right? And so I've been going through this process. I always buy new houses. I always redesign new houses. Like I always remodel them, but they're new. And my kids have only ever lived in a new house, which has been a weird experience. We bought a cabin that we're remodeling, and the basement doesn't have a carpet yet. And my daughter said to me the other day, I was making them all sleep in the basement of the cabin, and there's rugs. The carpet's coming soon, but she's like, let me ask you a question, Mom. Would you step out of a bunk bed and put your feet on concrete floor? Create all of a monster with that. I'm like, no, I wouldn't, because I bought it. That's why I'm sleeping upstairs, and you will get up. No. But I have become this total new construction snob. So I'm looking at all these other houses, and all I can think about is like the toenail clippings in the carpet, and that just does not vacuum out, and like other bodies in the I am such a new construction snob that everything is a remodel for me now after having done that. And so it's tricky. People are, as they're going through this process of buying a house, what they started out saying that they wanted or what their non-negotiables were, all of that, it's morphing over time as they're going through this, right? So if in the very beginning they're saying, I don't want a new home, I want big trees, I want character, I want all that, then that could change, right? As they're going through and looking at the options that are out there, then what they said they wanted, it can change, and you've got to be out at the forefront. What were you gonna say? I'm sorry.
Oh, your comment about the toenail clippings and stuff just reminded me of Matt Green used to have a class, and he would teach it, and he would go ahead and show these videos of these agents and how they've gone ahead and used videos to project themselves forward. And one of them would sit there and talk about all the different things, and they're like, and number 1, don't forget to change the toilet seat.
Oh.
And they pull up like a brand new toilet seat because they didn't want to use something someone else had ever used before.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I don't remember the last time I sat on a toilet seat. That was not I am so snobby when it comes to that kind of stuff. But I'm finding it, right? I'm finding it out there. I'm looking at resale homes. I'm making it work. So that's part of it, is guiding your clients, making sure that they see what all of those options are, and not getting into our own rut and our own process. It really truly is about them and guiding them through the process. So again, just be open to the change of it.
I think it's super critical too, because you are a second set of ears when you're sitting there talking about the colors that they're picking. and
Yes.
Tile and stuff like that. And guys, like, nobody's perfect. So there will be a time where tile will get installed in the wrong house or something like that.
Yeah.
And you can be there as a voice for your client. Because
Yes.
the builder does not want to go pull out that tile. The builder does not want to pull out the wrong kitchen that they installed in the
Yeah.
wrong house, but in the same neighborhood. Right? So your job is to be there in that piece, for that piece of it too, to be a voice and an advocate for your client on the buy side especially.
Or sometimes the builder will substitute the tile or the counters.
Yeah, and there's rules with that. And I have some tips, tricks, whoever asks for some secrets. I have some tips and tricks that can help with that too, in keeping organized. But I think part of what you're saying, I'm sorry, I wish I knew all your names and I hate it that I don't. What's your name? So how you were saying is advocating for your client. And I think that's really the difference. Is when you're looking at homes, you're seeing their reaction, their comments. You have all the backstory that the on-site agent doesn't have, right? So you're able to hear things in a different way and help them kind of, well, you're the person to help break it all down for them to decide what it is. That's a big piece of it. Okay, so this right here on the knowledge you bring, we don't have to click on that. It's this paper right here. I just thought you should have this, the list, so you can have your own kind of go to this. These are the most important terms I found for new construction that you should know. And even if you're, you know, sometimes if somebody that's new that hasn't built a house before, I will give this to them too and say, hey, just so you know, there's a lot of things that'll come up. You don't have to be the expert on it. I do. I am. So I'm going to help you make sure that you have all the information to make the best decision for you and your family, right? All right, so I also included in here, and they can send it out. This one's linked too, but you don't have to pull it up. It's fine. We're gonna pull it up. Okay, so this is the consultation questionnaire that I use that I want to share with you. It helps me make sure I am on track. One of the things I love about this whole NAR thing that happened last year is I feel like it's put us back into the mode of doing consultations. I think we got away from that in the past. And so if you haven't started doing consultations with your buyers, I highly suggest you do. It will save so much time. And I am that person that if we're not going to figure it out in 5 homes, I am not your girl. I am not driving and showing you 25 houses. I just won't do that. So the better I learned to be really, really good at this because I'm going to show you the best houses. We're going to talk about why, just because of an efficiency from me, right? And then helping them. And it's just not a good experience for anyone when they're seeing 25 houses. Right. It's hard. They don't remember it. They don't feel, it's discouraging. They're unsure of what they even like anymore. Who am I? Who even am I, right? So this helps me to guide them through that. And then part of it, if you scroll down, it adds this question of if you're considering, so the next page, considering new construction, yeah. Do you have a preference for the age of home? And then with that, it starts. There's a couple of questions that have that. With that, it kind of starts the conversation. I like to ask, what's your experience with building a home? Was it good or bad? What was good? What was bad? Have you ever considered it before? Why or why not? Just to kind of understand what they're coming into it with. I mean, they may have already some preconceived ideas of things, and it's the industry and market has changed a lot. It's really changed a lot. We're in such a weird time from a builder's perspective. We're in the weirdest time because our costs have not gone down. They have not gone down. Tariffs, that does not have, there's so much uncertainty. I don't know if you've read, their new homes have been hit the hardest. And that's what all these articles are coming out with, but it can't be hit the hardest because we still have a big time shortage of homes. So it's very critical that these communities keep going forward, but it's tricky. And in a new home, they're paying the contractors as they go, right? So all the costs for building a house is upfronted. And the margins in these houses is not like you think it is. So that's why a lot of builders have gone to more of these, even though it's a buyer's market. You would think in a buyer's market, the buyer, in the past, a buyer would say, I want this house, but I want you to completely change the exterior. I want you to add a 3rd car garage and make the lot twice as big, right? But that's just not the case. The builders don't have the room to be able to make the accommodations that a buyer feels entitled to, right? Or what they want. So it's in this weird kind of standoff sort of negotiation process. And we're going to talk about how you can negotiate and what you can negotiate, but it is kind of a different time. So the more we can understand what their experience is or their thought process is kind of with that, the more we can kind of help dive into it as we go through and make sure we're asking the right questions. Have you guys are jumping in on this AI thing, huh?
Yeah.
Please tell me. Okay. That one of the things I found is that's the key to it, right? With AI, but getting it to work for you is asking the right question. And that's what people are developing. That's what we're working on and developing these prompts. You hear all this talk about prompts. And that is, how do you ask the right things to be able to get a result that matches what you're looking for? And it's the same with this, is consultations are critical, whether it's new homes or existing, so that you can be sure you're asking throughout the process, you have enough information to be able to ask the right question, get them the right information to make their decision. Agree or disagree?
Agreed.
Okay, so you guys can have that form. All right, so tell me, as we're going through new homes, talk a lot about features versus a benefit. What is it? Quickly tell me, what's a feature versus a benefit?
Feature is something that a house has. A benefit is how it may apply to your client or help your
Exactly.
client. And something like, if you know, like, I sold a house with some people from Texas, and I didn't talk about the feature, I talked about the benefit, like, hey, this is what you were looking for, and helped her see, and then
Yeah,
it was worth her taking her flight out, or one flight out for the relocation with her husband, and
Yeah.
and they bought it.
yeah, it's interesting because we get our own, you hear it a lot in new construction. And people don't want north facing, they don't want east facing, they do want south facing, they do want west facing, right? And when you're looking at existing homes, that really doesn't come up as much as it does in new homes, right? When you're talking about lots of dirt, build and stuff like that. Why wouldn't somebody want a north or an east face?
Snow melt.
Okay.
Sometimes, the culture of the.
Yeah, that's a big part of it. Who, would want it?
Asian people like it to face east for some reason.
Feng shui.
Feng shui?
I think
What'd you
sometimes it's a cheaper lot,
I
and
said
people don't care as
feng
much.
Okay,
Wind and water,
oh, okay, oh, yeah,
well, that's what the words mean,
yeah, cool, I
because
didn't know
it's
that.
nature, natural, I speak Mandarin Chinese.
Some people want, no.
I think some people just don't care, like they would rather, because it's gonna have a lot premium, right, based on the direction the lot faces or whatever, so people just don't care. They'd rather have a lower price lot than worry about which direction it faces, but it is critical to, like, someone who has had a lot that faces a certain direction is like, I don't ever want a north facing lot again,
So I've been,
because it's so hard to shovel the driveway or
Exactly.
whatever.
when something in somebody's life changes,
Mhm.
if you don't know what they're, exactly what they're looking for, so for me, I've been south or west facing for a long time, but this new house is gonna have a pool.
Yeah.
So now, I want sun in the backyard.
Yep.
So all of a sudden, I'm east and north. And my partner's a big gardener, he wants like land to garden, he
Yeah.
needs sun.
You need sun.
So all of a sudden, this thing that was just always my thing is not anymore. See, right? So there's it's only if, so if somebody were to come to me, you don't want that lot because it's west facing, if they understand what my intention was, that I want a pool in the back, a pool, I want sun, then they've kind of lost me. Right? Because they're not listening to what I want. So applying, you got to know what they need in order to know if this feature is actually a benefit. Just the same as when you're talking to them about like lot size. I want a big lot. Okay, tell me about what you're gonna use your lot for. Because what are you comparing it to? Tell me about the question I ask a lot. I actually do this to my kids and it makes them crazy. Tell me more about, I'm not gonna, you're not gonna clean your room. Tell me more about that. Tell me more about, right? So that question, tell me more about, I use a lot. Tell me more about your yard now. Tell me more about how you're gonna use your yard. Tell me more about that thing so that you can help evaluate, because it's all just based on their perception of things. In order for you to match, because this is what it is you're matching their wants and needs. And also the other thing that's really important is, what are your non-negotiables? What are your must-haves? So that grandma's grand piano, we gotta have a room for it, gotta have it. Gotta have that, or whatever those certain things are. For me, I feel like everybody's gotta have their own bathroom. I don't know, I'm gonna have to get over it, because it doesn't exist. So I'm wrestling with the get over, but actually the problem with my partner's a builder is, so now I'm just like, where are we gonna add the bathroom? We'll just add the bathroom, so now I'm just gonna put a bathroom in there, that's great. But what is that as you're going through the process? Also, good and bad experiences and what their expectations in this whole process. Okay, anything anybody wants to add? And you guys have so much knowledge and experience too. I want you to feel like this is.
On
Your
their expectations, good and bad, I just think it's interesting, because some people that have built before
they're like, I am never building.
Yeah.
Again. And you can help them understand what's changed, and what's different
Yeah.
now, like, okay, there might be a happy medium. Like
Yeah.
not from scratch, because that was a disaster and ended in
Yeah.
divorce, but
Yeah,
now it could be a better situation.
yeah, and if I can just offer some advice too, is when somebody says, I'm never gonna build. Then you just, it's hard, huh? Tell me about that. What happened? What is, you know, come from curiosity with it. Not, well, things are different, so. Yeah. Just understanding them is important. All right, so the consultation. So I want to give you a little bit of the builder's perspective. So again, once you see a house or a sign in the yard, it's an average of about 2 years of things that have happened before that sign's in the yard. So some farmer owned that land, or it was just sitting there. It likely was, you know, had to go through the city council processes, which some cities are so hard and to get through. So it's gone through a lot of changes, a ton of expense. To get a plat map drawn, you're thousands and thousands. And then when you're getting it redrawn to the specifications, a lot of times cities want to see renderings of what the product is. So the developer, who knows the difference between a builder, developer?
Developer is usually the one with the Roland doing all the roads, all the infrastructure, all.
The development.
Yeah, yeah. The surveys, all that.
And then the builder is,
Just the person that comes in and does whatever the plans show.
builds the house. Can you be a builder and a developer?
Yeah.
So a lot of builders will do that, and a lot of builders will just buy land, hi. Welcome. A lot of builders will just, they'll, depending on the community, they'll do either or both, or portions of it. They'll either just come in and buy finished lots, or they'll buy papered lots. What does that mean? What's a papered lot?
Subdivision already.
Already ready to go.
Yeah, so it's been approved, it's been stamped, so you have plans. What's the difference between a plat map and a plot plan? Oh, I love it. I get to just teach you something. Plat map is. Yep, so I think of plat as flat. Flat. It's the subdivision. It's what shows all the easements. It has, what's an easement? It's on the easements is the distance on your lot, on the home site. It's the distance around your perimeter that a building has, like the building has to be within, right? The distance to your lot line. It's not the distance to the neighbor. I hear people say that all the time. It's not the distance to the neighbor. It's the distance of a structure to your lot line. And so within that, depending on the lot size, depending on the community, there's certain setbacks is what it's called. So usually if it's under a 1/4 acre, you can be within 8 feet. If it's like 1/10 of an acre or smaller, you can be within 5 feet. If it's over a 1/4, it has to be at least 12 on the side. A corner lot is different. It has to be at least 20 on the side. So all of those sorts of details are outlined on the plat map. And that's what, when the city stamps it, has all the grading of the roads, curb and gutter, where all of the utilities are coming in, any utility easements. So even power lines above would have an easement on the ground below it, right? So anything like that is detailed on the plat map. So plat is flat. Plat is flat. Plot is plot plan. Who knows that? Plot plan is your lot and your house on the lot. So that's a critical part of the process when you're looking into that, is to see if your client wants an RV pad or something like that. Don't just assume, assuming is like the worst thing for me ever. Gossip and assuming, I'm always like, ugh. Those two things do not work with me. But the assuming that a builder's gonna think about moving the house over as far as possible for the future, if somebody in the future ever wanted an RV pad, to move it to away from the garage to give the most on the garage side. So that's one of the things to help in the future. If your client is not doing an RV pad, but you have 12 feet over here and you have 5 feet over here, move it, give it 8 feet, give it 10 feet for the future, because that would be the difference of somebody not being able to buy that house in the future, right? You're part of your value you're adding is helping them to think when you go to sell this home. What is something with that, right? Okay, so then the builder has really gone through already so many prices. Oh, I was gonna say in the community meetings,
when they're getting their developments created, they oftentimes have to create a product for it. Even if they're just the developer and they're not gonna build the houses, they have to go through the design process with architecture to show what a product type would be. That's thousands of dollars. They've invested already so much into it by the time they get to that point. And in 2 years' time, think about what's gone on in our market in 2 years. So much can change and shift. You have the hard cost of the land, the hard cost of all of those things and getting ready. So a lot of times the decisions are being made based on the decision for your client and what they're able to do for your client. It's based on the, you know, the history of what they've already put into it and what their projections are. And likely they've had to change what they had originally projected. And they also have financing. So you've got vertical financing and horizontal financing. So the land to develop, the cost to develop the land, and so there's interest. There's all that. So there's a lot into it from the builder's mindset. And so that is one of the reasons when who's ever been caught into a situation where a builder didn't want to pay you commission. Okay, and that I'm sorry. And a lot of you have had good experiences with that then, I guess, which is great. Oh, that's great. But it is an actual hard cost to a builder, right? So if you're not the reason that they pay for procuring, which truthfully you get paid for procuring too. Procuring, did I do it?
You did it.
That's really what you get paid for too, if you think of this, right? So if you have a dispute, I've been a broker since 2008. So I've been part of a lot of disputes with, not agency, what's the word? Wow. Yeah, with commissions. Yeah. There's different, but yes, all of that. And it's the person that has started the relationship was the reason that that house or that agency started is who gets the commission, right? That really is what it is. And it's the same in new homes. And so for a builder, what they're paying an agent, just the same as a billboard, right? The marketing cost of getting that person in. And so they don't mark up the houses a full 3% or whatever that is, because we don't have exclusions. Right. Or whatever that is, right? They're not doing that. It's a part, they average out how many people typically have an agent and they average that out over the whole community. So when things change and their marketing strategies change and they have to go to more, you know, rely on agents more because we have the buyers. We're the ones who have the buyers right now. So they're having to shift. And so they're losing profit in marketing to more agents. So there is a way to do all of this, right? There's a way to do any of it and all of it. But I just want you to kind of understand the mindset going into it. I think it can feel like just trying to make the maximum profit. Also, if you're representing a seller, do you want them to make the maximum profit? Of course. Yes. Right? So that's just what it is, right? And then we're going to go a little bit more into that. And then the resale versus the new home is really something that is a battle for the buyer because they're battling against the cost for today, where it's kind of funny when you go and show, and I do love, I sell resale homes, right? Like I know, I'm just kind of telling you, sell it, not buy it. I'm going to buy one. I'm going to buy a resale home and I'm excited about remodeling. But and there's so much time that comes to an existing home, which is why I want to do it. I want a neighborhood that feels like home, right? That's what I want. I want big trees. I want all of that. So I do want a resale home. I am looking at I usually call them used homes. So I have to check myself with that. Want to use that? I don't. But with a resale home versus a new home, they're battling the today cost. Oh, the thing I was going to say is it's funny when you're showing resale homes, nobody cares about the faucets. When they walk into the house, they're not like, it's a chrome. But in our new construction home, it's like, I'd buy it, but it has chrome faucets. Like all of a sudden it's such a thing, right? And it cracks me up because in a used home, you're walking through thinking like, oh yeah, you just get new light fixtures, you'll just do this, you'll just do that. But in a new home, it's like a deal breaker. Oh, yeah. You feel like it has to be perfect. So that's pressure on the builder to be at the latest trends and what are the things that people want. When in a resale home, there's not that same pressure. Right? Okay. So matching the buyer, so when somebody's thinking about a home, and this is in used home too, is the way people think, I think of it ACB. They're talking about the area, the community, and then that's when the builder kind of comes into it. So out here, you guys have a lot of builders. You have builders that have been here for a long time, and you have builders from Salt Lake County, out of state, moving in here, but there's still a lot of hometown builders and a lot of hometown developers in your area up here. And that's one of the tips and tricks I will give you is familiarize yourself with who the big players are here. Who has market share? You can get all of the city council meeting information is a public record. You can call the cities and you talk to the not the building, but the planning department. You can call the planning department and say, hey, can I get a list of new communities that are being talked about? Can I get the meeting minutes? They'll give it to you. They'll tell you what's coming up. Build relationships with the builders. Get to know who they are. I have agents at all the builders where they help me so much where I can call them and say, Aaron's my ivory guy. Anywhere in the whole state. Aaron, I have this person. They might be coming by. This is what they're looking for. Do you have anything? Help me find them something. And then when that person goes in, what's Aaron gonna do? Oh, hey, I talked to Emily. Yeah. And then I've gotten listings out of it. Because a lot of times those on-site agents can't sell contingent homes. And so I've gotten a lot of listings out of it. That's actually the way that I came to KW. Fun fact is I could not sell contingent homes. And so I gave all my listings to Josh and Lee Stern. And we became friends. And they were hiring a team leader for Salt Lake. And they gave Boyd my name. And I got hired for Salt Lake. And I was living in Riverton. And during the process, the South Valley team leader wanted to just sell instead. And so then I got hired there. But it was because of that relationship that I had with Josh and Lee. I gave them tons of listings over the years because I couldn't do that. So there's an opportunity in those relationships.
And that's
anyway.
because they built a relationship with you as a builder agent. So
Yes.
that's another benefit.
Absolutely. And another thing they would do for me is because I was in a competitive floor. So the other agent that worked there, if she sold something, I didn't get any of it. And your inventory is limited to what you can sell in that community. So if I was going out of town or something, they would set the model for me. They would do open houses for me and things like that.
The other biggest benefit too is then in reverse, you can give them the upfront inventory. If like I have a client, so
absolutely.
wicked specific.
Yeah,
need,
you
can
should
help
sell this
buy it.
house because of this. Yeah.
Well, because knowing inventory that's gonna come up, that the other agents don't even know about.
Yep.
They usually like, this house is
Yeah.
gonna come up, they're gonna start a spec. Do you wanna come in and contract it before it's even,
Yep.
no one else knows about it?
Yep. And that's absolutely the way to do it is building these relationships so you don't have these battles of if I'm going to get paid commission or not. They want to sell a house. You know, the on-site agent wants to sell a house and they do rely on you and they represent the seller. Sometimes that feels ambiguous because they can only sell these houses. So they build relationships with your clients as if they're representing your client. And so sometimes that can feel ambiguous, and we'll talk a lot about how you can teamify this whole thing, but that's an important part in, you know, helping narrow down some choices for somebody is you yourself need to know what's available. So once you have kind of the general area, we want to be in South Weaver. Okay, what's in South Weaver? Mountains and wind.
Right.
And no mosquitoes.
And then 35.
No
Just so you know.
mosquitoes?
Yeah, wind.
I did have, when I was second grade, yellow and white house, the bricks blew off the house in Uinta. I lived in Uinta. And the bricks just blew off the house one night. Like, I know what this wind is. Can be there, but South Weaver is beautiful. Who are the builders? What's the existence? You're talking about the area. Okay, is there a specific community? And then who are the builders there? What relationships do I need to build there? Yeah, who took out my like outdoor movie peak? I actually know who. it
Oh,
was.
motor view.
Yes.
On
That's so
private
familiar.
movie on.
That was that.
Yeah, I know. I know the developer who did it. And I gotta give him a piece of my mind. I'm like, you just destroyed my childhood. Anyway, sorry, what were you saying?
I was just saying it is important to know where they where they're developing to, but just having the relationships, because it's so much nicer to be able to have one go-to person,
yeah.
just like you had.
Yeah.
And they had you to call and say, Emily, I have a client looking for this, this, and this.
Yeah.
What do you have available? Because that saves you so much time. You said in the beginning, I don't want to go show somebody 25 houses.
Yeah.
You especially don't want to show somebody 25, like,
Community.
maybe this is the
Yeah.
lot that you're gonna like, or this one's in
Yeah.
this stage of whatever. So if you have those connections with the builders,
Yeah.
agents, you can call and say, hey, I've got somebody looking for this. Tell me what you've got. And they know, even the ones to say like, hey, this one's not available, but it would give them a good feel for the floor plan because
Yeah.
it's at this stage.
Yeah.
Go walk them through it. It saves you so much time
Yeah.
if you have those relationships.
Absolutely. And you can tell your client to not go through without you.
For sure.
Who here has like raised a child or been a part of somebody's development? Can you force anybody to do anything ever?
No.
No, you cannot. They have this free will thing that we all. So you can't, so work within that, right?
Limitations of the free will, but yeah. I buy it.
Must not have a way.
That's the-
Daughters.
Yeah, it's like there's.
So you have to also just do the best that you can. I think we get caught into that too. I see it a lot where agents are afraid that they're gonna miss out on commission, that they'll either steer buyers away from new construction totally because they've heard horror stories, or they'll make them feel panicked. You cannot go in there without me. They'll destroy you. They'll take advantage of you. They're gonna make this the worst thing ever. You're gonna pay way more. Like, that's not the right approach either. We should operate in the things that we can control. So what are the things we can control? We can control relationships that we have with builders. We can control communication.
Calling ahead of registering.
We can control that. We
You can
can
remind
control
your
the-
client. to
Remind your client.
tell them that you're their agent.
We can have, because if the first time they're hearing about this, if they go buy a model home, a lot of times they don't even think that you can help them.
Yeah.
There. And so they don't, because they like you, they don't want to tell you. Because they like you. And so it's easier for them to spread out, because ultimately everybody's gonna do what the best thing for their family is, and they should. They should do that. And so if you haven't done a good consultation, you haven't educated them about everything that's out there, to tell them, hey, it's okay, I get to help you everywhere. And the advantage that I'm gonna have over somebody there is that I've seen all the houses that you're looking at. I've been involved in this process, so I can help you get to this decision, because your job as an agent is to help somebody decide if this is what they're going to do. You're not deciding it for them. You get to give them all the information and then help them process through what information to like discard and what they don't need and what they do need, and help them as that changes over time. Okay. Anything else on that? All right. This one, we gotta play this one. You guys seen this? She is so funny. I don't remember this one has squares in them. The volume. Can you start over?
Yeah, it takes us a minute with videos sometimes.
But not tall enough to fill the void.
Start over.
3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 660,000. Carport is tall enough to fit, this carport is tall enough to fit your jacked up F-150, but not tall enough to fill the void of when your father left. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, $660,000. What do you want me to do? It's 2 minutes from Bayshore Boulevard. You're the one who overextended yourself on an F-150 payment. $750. Imagine coming home to this after a long day of overcompensating. This is the perfect spot for your I don't call anything, but I could apron. I get exhausted cleaning up your parking spots everywhere you go. This shower's big enough for you to cry in once you realize one of your friends keep you around just in case they need to move. quick spot for your truck chair. Hey, did your truck come with a kitchen bottle full of tobacco spit, or do you have to buy that stuff? 3 minutes away from a mechanic, and the signal's great here. I already got these 3 matches on grinder.
Hilarious. She is so funny. She makes it up. So there's an art to showing homes. I believe this, and I think we suck at it. I do. I think we suck at it. And there are a few things in new homes and training. In new homes, we actually learn how to show houses and talk about houses and help them figure out how they feel, because that's what it is. It's about how they feel in a home. It's not about what they see in a home. So all the senses, right? What is their experience? How do they feel in there? And a big part of it is light has everything to do with it. And that's something I want to write a class on showing homes, used homes. Like, how can you create an experience in a home when you're not there? And there are some agents that are so good at it. When you walk in the house, it's like, oh, it was great. And it makes your job easier when you're showing a home, because the listing agent has really established that, right? And put some thought and effort into it. In new homes, we are better at that, because it's the reverse of, if you think about it, the on-site agent, it's the complete reverse of what we do as a buyer's agent. A buyer's agent, it's about building the relationship with them, right? And finding the right home. But there, you establish your client relationship with them. They're signing saying, we like you, and we're going to pay you. Hopefully somebody else will pay for it, but we're going to pay you because we like you. That's what it is. An on-site sales agent only has their product that they can sell. So they're trying to match what the needs are of that person to the product that they have. Quickly. They only have the time. They can only control the time that they're there with them. So on-site agents, in my experience, good ones, can be much better at building a quick rapport, which is different than a relationship, but building quick rapport. They're better at finding out what their needs are and really honing into that. They're better at helping them through objections, because as resale agents, oftentimes will just show them something else rather than helping them work through what it is. Like, it's one bathroom short. Is there anything else? Where would we build a bathroom? Let's just build a bathroom for you. Right? Okay. Now it's gone. The objection's gone. Versus, oh, okay, well, then I'm only going to show you houses with 5 bathrooms. Well, what is my option for a house with 5 bathrooms? There's not a lot, unless I'm going to go like so high in price. Right? So I feel like we could do better. New home agents are better at that. Good ones are better at helping through objections when we're seeing the houses. If it's fitting almost all the boxes, right? And you already know what their non-negotiables are. You already know that. We can do better at showing homes. And so you got to be careful. And if you don't already have a good relationship with your client, and you're not the one that's bringing them in to this new home, because if they're going to these models, without you, there is a good chance they're going to encounter somebody who's really good at that, who sees their job as a sales job, which, guess what? It is. Your job is a sales job. That is something funny that when I interview agents getting into the business, why do you want to do this? Oh, I just love HGTV. I just love looking at home. Girl, you are sales. You are sales. Your job, your only job, is to get clients, find clients, close deals. Showing homes is one of the things that you do for your job. That is not your job, right? So this is part, just like some things that help for me is, we already talked a little bit about that. We oftentimes will kind of forget the exterior of a house, right? So sometimes people, they can't quite articulate, and I'm finding with myself, I'm way better at this, helping other people than I am. I do need an agent. So I speak my agent and helping me find a house. Because having somebody really talk through that with you is hard. Because sometimes you'll just not like something, but you can't really totally, and oftentimes that happens on the exterior. There's a study that says that it's around 62% of a buyer's decision comes from the neighborhood and the exterior of the But how often when you've gone up and showed houses do you say, what do you think of the outside? So tell me right now, how does this look? How do you feel here? How do you like this? Do you like the street? What stands out? What do you like? What don't you like? Pausing for a second. And.
Also, another thing that will save you so much time is when they are first starting to look, if they're all over the place, have them go drive through some of the communities.
Yeah.
Like, hey, go through and tell me, like, even if it's not, there's no streets for sale on that, or there's no houses for sale on that street or whatever. Send me the areas that you like. When you're driving through them, they feel like home to you. Because then that helps you be able to narrow it down so that if everything they're showing you is these mature neighborhoods with huge, big, beautiful trees and big lots and all this stuff.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to be really specific if they are looking at new construction on which ones you're gonna go look at. You're not gonna go look at the, community in Plain City that's brand new that has tiny lots.
Yeah.
Like, that's not gonna be ideal for them, right? So I think that's such a good point. So many people don't pay attention to the outside and the communities that they are looking at.
And they just may not articulate that because
Yeah.
they don't quite realize that.
They don't quite realize that's what's turning them off
It's a
about
feeling.
it.
Yep.
Mhm.
The non-negotiables, again, really understanding them. The favorite room demonstration. So like for me, I love cooking. I gotta have a kitchen, like a kitchen. I need to have a big island. And I'm the worst kind of buyer because I have a good kitchen. I don't have to move right now. I'm moving for a family, so that we have, So we have a house so now my family is different. And so a house for all of us, I don't have to move. So it's hard to find myself something because my kitchen's nice. So what is that? For me, it's the kitchen. For my partner, it's the garage. Okay, so we gotta have these two things. Everything else we can add it after, but these two things we have to have because that's important. But he has this ridiculous garage, and that has this beautiful kitchen that he thinks is a little ridiculous, right? And then also, as you're talking through and creating the experience in a new home, especially because these model homes, they make them so beautiful on purpose because it's creating a feeling, right? That you let them be there. It makes me crazy when you should not be the first one walking through anything. It's not about you. It doesn't matter. Okay. And the on-site agents, let them do their thing. If they're good at it, let them do it. They know.
Yes.
I had one time, somebody brought a client, this was years ago, into a model home and the husband and the agent came and walked it and then came back later that day. And do you guys know who Jeff Shore is? He's like the most, he's like the Tony Robbins of new homes. So he trains trainers or agents. And I worked with him for a long time. He's so good at this kind of thing. He teaches you how to show houses. And so I just come back from a training. So I was like over the top. And so they came back later with the wife and the buyer came in and he's like, okay, go. And I'm like, what? And he said, no, go, like, do your thing. Do your thing, like, this is it. He's like, do your thing. So it does help people like to feel like you're knowledgeable, but you're helping them to create it. Okay, how does this feel? How does this compare to what you have? What would you change? That kind of thing. But then you're in the background. Okay. All right. So here are some of the things that are more negotiable. We're going to be talking about making an offer and what's negotiable. And it's really different. I found it to be different per builder these days. You have huge incentives happening right now.
Yes.
What are some of your incentives you have going right now from builders?
There's a lot that are doing like rate buy downs for the first 2 years, free refis, paid closing costs. They get to pick either like upgrade credits or closing cost credits. Some of them are doing both of those things. Some have like they call it, they use it your way of credit.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of buy down rates for the 30 years. 3.9%
Yeah.
interest rate.
On certain houses they do.
Some,
Yeah.
Do you guys know that Richmond and Woodside bought Richmond? So they're in the process of deciding right now if it's going to be Woodside or Richmond.
Oh,
One of them is going away.
I would join builder lists to like sign up on their websites to get the emails from them so that you see what incentives are being offered.
So I want to show you something that I did on ChatGPT last night. Is I just said, show me his building in Davis and Weber counties. It gives me their contact information, the website. So let's ask. I just want to do this real time.
She's pulling that up. If you guys wanna meet with a builder's agent that is so good at walking your client through and getting so quick rapport into the wants and needs. Laurie Johnson with Ivory Homes is actually amazing at that. She's like one of the best people I've ever
fun.
seen to like instantly rapport, make your people feel at ease. And is so good at like problem solving and getting down to the nitty gritty of
Oh, I
like,
love that.
what is it about this model you don't like? Oh, well, did you know that we could put this wall up?
Yeah.
You could do this. Like, she's so great at it. She'd be a
Yeah.
good contact for you guys to
That's
know.
awesome. I love that. It's a great idea. Okay, so look at this. Wait, scroll. There we go. So this is a good start to call these builders and say, hey, I see that you've got, are you still offering a $20,000 discount for the Ogden
Very more
City?
recent.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So this is just pulling off of, if you were to research every builder's website, that's what this is doing, is pulling. So I found this to be a really quick, easy way to get information. I'm using this a lot right now because we're buying land up here. So I've been searching a ton on what, you know, how can we be competitive? What do we need to be competitive? I will tell you for sure, Lennar Homes and DR Horton right now will lose homes. Lose money on every home. They're just selling houses.
They wanna get rid of it.
So these smaller builders can't do that.
Mhm.
It's been tricky. Okay, you can go back. So this is a way for you, I encourage you to do this. It'll mean more to you if you do it than if I send you the list of the builders here. If you can get your contacts and even say that if you're reaching out to the builders, hey, I'm looking for somebody to be my person for this builder. I'm marketing to a lot of clients right now. I want to be a good partner. What has worked best for you in the past? What's the best way? Do you have information you could send me that I can educate my clients? How can we help each other? And are you still offering these incentives? So you're coming to it with a piece of information to ask them about versus, hey, tell me what you have going. Because this is the information that your clients are going to see online too. So if you could quickly get it, and then you can tell ChatGPT to do it in a pretty marketing format to give to your clients. Like you could adjust it in a million different ways. I just wanted to kind of spark that a little bit for you. Okay, so the things that can be more negotiable are things that the builder can absorb the cost of. So sometimes, if it's straight cash off the house, it's harder. So in a thing like with lenders, a lot of times builders are doing lender incentives because they own the lender. That happens a lot, and so they're able to absorb that in it. And we're going to talk about a little bit why a builder wants you to use that lender, because that is a really touchy subject for us. I know. Any add-ons, payment schedules, like earnest money construction deposit. We're going to talk about what that is. The right to inspect. Does anybody know why a builder's contract says they won't really acknowledge a third-party inspection? Did you know that?
Did you know there are several that will make your inspector be on an approved list? If they'll even let him in to inspect.
Why would a builder do that?
Because inspectors don't have to be licensed here. I could be.
Weird. Yeah.
Also, I mean, there's a guy I follow on like Reels or whatever down in, I think he's in Arizona. And he also says, I won't tell you the name of the builder, and it's in the background right behind him, and then he shows all the crap they did in the houses. Like, it's not structurally sound, there's gas leaks and just.
Watch out if that builder's a part of their board there, because that's a huge ethics violation.
Yeah, well, that's just an opinion, that's just one opinion, right?
Yeah.
He has it all documented, and every single time he says, I won't tell you what the builder is, but it's always visible behind it. Every
Oh,
single
yeah,
time.
he should be careful.
And they've all tried to sue him and shut him down, and he
Just
wins.
pays the fines.
He doesn't get fines.
Wow. Why do you think a builder is so?
I think it kind of gets in the way of like the process, to the building process.
Yeah.
I think liability, like,
Yeah, I think these are all really good things.
I think also they're going through inspections all along the way. There's steps that they're taking that they're saying, okay, this got signed off
Okay,
in a 4-way inspection. And they have a
thank
super,
you for saying that.
they're getting signed off. They have to, it's not just like they're out there willy-nilly throwing shit together.
So let me tell you,
Sometimes they are.
think about,
Yeah, sometimes they
think about the last resale home you sold. The last resale home you sold, do you have access to when, let me tell you what all the inspections are, okay? So the first inspection is when they pull the utilities, the plumbing and the electrical up to the lot, because it'll be set to the street, but pulling it to the lot. Then there's an inspection on the dig. Then there's an inspection on the foundation walls. Then there's an inspection on the subroof where it's connected into the foundation of your utility. Oh, sorry, there's a footings foundation. Footings inspection, then a foundation inspection. Then there is a frame walk. There's a 4-way. Then there's the series of the final inspections. But with the 4-way, you've got like several inspections there. So think about the last resale home you sold. Does your seller have any knowledge of how the home was constructed, how well built the home was? A new constructed home has been seen from the literal inside out, right? It's had eyes on it. It's been passed off. Nothing is perfect. You're going to have over 100 people building a single home, right? So of course it's not going to be perfect, but neither is your resale home. The difference is you can just see it in a new home. You can just see it along the way and the things that were fixed, right? And so that the scrutiny of the city inspector, what they're looking for are anything that's going to affect the structural part of the home, right? And a different inspector, just a typical inspector, is going to be looking for more of those kind of cosmetic sort of things. And so a builder just is getting inspected what they need to warrant, which is the structural warranty. So that's why the builder, and sometimes I think it's like calling their kid ugly in a sense, you know? Because inspectors will find something. I've never seen an inspection report that says, right, or 0, right? Okay. Okay, less negotiable, the price, the forms, the location of the closing, the title company, unreasonable terms, non-refundable money. So, okay, so let's talk about each of these a little bit. The price, obviously, and the more you have that relationship with the on-site agent, the more you'll be able to get a sense for what is important to the builder. Yeah, you can have that conversation of what have you seen to be, you know, workable in the past. The other things that are important to my client, let's figure out, you know, something that could work, right? That will help you. And then the forms. So the forms, the title company, why are those the lender? Why do you think that's so important to a builder? Have you found that to be important to a builder?
Very important.
Yes, and tell me why? Why do you think?
Efficiency of their process is one.
Yep.
Even though it was very annoying for me to go to a certain title company.
Yeah.
That was annoying because there were, anyway. But the builder, like, they know that title person knows the process. They know exactly what they do and don't want them to do and how they want them to do it. And
Can
say it.
they force you to use their title?
No.
They can't.
Unless it's cash.
Yeah, if it's a cash sale, it's probably the same thing. They can't force you. You can do an addendum. They don't have to accept it, or they can't force you, right?
Not sell a house to you.
Yeah, they can choose who they're gonna sell the house to. Yeah.
Last builder I worked with, wouldn't offer owner's title policy on the title when they close. So that's something else.
Yeah,
They're gonna provide owner's title policy for your client. They aren't.
yeah.
If you don't use their lender, so they're gonna have.
Yeah, why?
They thought it was, they didn't wanna pay it.
Okay, that makes sense. Scrutinizing the cost. Any other thoughts? Why?
On the lenders, because they can bake in fees. And adjust again their profit margin.
Yeah, just sometimes they can if they're associated with the lender. Yeah,
I was gonna say kind of what she said, they have associations with the title companies and the lenders.
Yeah.
to go ahead and give them favorable terms because they're giving them so much volume.
Yeah,
So then they go ahead and try and shut everybody else out so that they can. Cause they're already getting like a, kind of like a marketing fee or whatever from the
Yeah.
lender and the title.
and so these are all true. I will say from my experience, and so the builder I represent right now, I've represented them for a while, but it's Rick Lafferty's builder. It's a guy. He's been building for 40 years. It's his daughters work there. Like it's not a big corporate company. I've worked for big corporate companies. I've worked with small builders. And it is when, by the time you get to the closing of the house, again, everything's paid along the way. You have all these subcontractors that are paid, you have all this, you have the investments there. And when a home's being closed for the first time, it's different. When it has new occupancy, it's different. There's more things that need to be that the title company needs to do. And when they're using their same title company, it is for the efficiency part, is just that all that stuff's already there. The builder doesn't have to go through and sign like the builder packet that they have to sign for title for new. It's a lot. And sometimes at that point, the builder's like, I don't want to do this a million times, right? And so that title company already has that. They're already going to, because can anybody lien a house?
Yep.
Yeah, I can lien Rusty's house and say that I own it now. Can I?
You can do a notice of interest for sure.
Yeah,
And then I
can I
can't
own
sell
your
it
house? Then you can't
until
sell.
she signs off. to say
Yeah,
that it's
right,
not
anybody
really-
can do that, right? So there's any reason why a subcontractor could maybe just be disgruntled and put, or maybe the builder didn't pay. Right? There's a lot of things out there, and so they can put a lien on the property. So if the builder has their own title company, they can ensure, because their reputation is really important, they can ensure that that builder is looking out, that title company is looking out for all of that far in advance to help things be really smooth at the end and close quicker. Same with the lender, because again, they've upfronted all this money. We're gonna build this house, and I'm sorry, but not everybody is great at putting colors together. So then they have to build this house that somebody designed. They have to sell it to someone else if it doesn't work out, right? But also the time is a make or break for a builder. So if they have to go and sell it to somebody else, if the person doesn't actually qualify, they have certain protections in place with the lender that they're familiar with. That during different process, they're a part of their meetings, right? The lender is in the meeting, they're talking about everybody that's under contract, they're getting very updated information, they're able to talk to lenders, they're having concerns about certain things, and so there's just some security that comes with it, more than any of the money that a builder's gonna make or fees that are gonna be reduced. It's more the security and the insurance of the home closing. So that's what, if your client is very fixated on using their own lender or something like that, what you need to help to articulate is the security of their ability to close on that. That's what they're looking for. All right, so what's the difference between earnest money and construction deposit?
Construction deposit's going to the builder.
Construction deposit goes to the builder, it goes to the operating account.
It's typically not refundable after a very specific time.
Yep, and most of the time, but when you pay construction deposit,
It's
it's
not.
not refundable. You pay it at a point that's not. So then what's earnest money in a new home?
Similar to what it is now.
Yeah. Yep, and so they'll have in their contracts, they'll have timeframes with that, for when the earnest money is refundable. It's usually based on loan approval.
Usually earnest money for a new construction is less than your construction deposit is gonna be.
Yeah.
Typically.
Yep, typically,
Like depending on the builder, sometimes they'll maybe want 2,500 in earnest money, but they need 10% in a construction.
Yeah.
deposit.
and it will vary depending on where it is in the construction process. And how many options your buyer is gonna be able to select. If they're really designing the home, the deposit will be higher. If it's everything's already chosen, it's typically gonna be less. Have you been in a scenario where the house is finished and there's been an earnest money and a construction deposit? I'm seeing that a lot lately. It's kind of different. I usually just up the earnest money and say, well, you just do this instead, it's easier for the client. And then I can hold it. So I prefer to do that way. That's a good tip, Andrew. On the preferred lender. We kind of talked about that already. Oftentimes the contract, if you read the fine print in there, they have to it doesn't say they have to use the lender. because they can't force them to use the lender. They can tie incentives to the lender. But they can't force them to use it, but they can require that they get qualified from the lender and not use them. So you're gonna wanna talk through that. And again, it's just the assurance of the security for the future. Okay,
Mitigate risk.
are you getting paid? Okay, yeah, let's do that. Let's get paid. So this has been an interesting thing for a builder too with the commissions. Where they can only pay you, it's starting to be advertised though that we'll pay you this amount of commission. It's been kind of interesting to see how different builders are navigating this. But your buyer broker agreement still, it's the same. It's the same parameter as a new construction, right? They're gonna pay you up to, so the builder contracts will say up to. So if you're only getting 1% or something, then it's up to 3, you're getting 1. Does that make sense? And I'm gonna let your broker help you navigate all that. I have some things that I would do, that I would tell my people to do, but I'm not gonna tell you, 'cause you might not like it. But be like, use them as a partner, right? Like, this is what I'm thinking, does this work? Talk through it, because everybody's just navigating still. It's been almost a year, but we're all still navigating it. Oh, and in order to get paid, you gotta register. So you've got to have that as a part. When you get a client, it's got to be part of your process. Is there any chance that they'll ever consider a new home? Who do I need to talk to and get registered? So if you've already established who your people are, when you get this client, you can call them, the builders, and say, hey, I want to register this person. This is what we're looking for. Let me know if something pops up. Because even if they don't have something right now, they may have a cancellation. They may hear about something in another community or something where they want to help you find something.
Emily, so on getting paid, just a quick tip or trick from the other is with your consultation, it doesn't hurt to just give, not that we have a ton of cards anymore, but like to just give your clients some cards to throw in their glove box. Because if they already know that it's on Sunday afternoon, they happen to be driving, they're like, oh my God, actually, maybe we would consider this close to our kid's school.
Yeah.
And pop in the model home. All they have to do is grab one of the cards and you say, hey, my agent, we just last minute decision, they couldn't come with me, but here's my agent and would like to.
Oh, and it would be so amazing if they would remember to
do
get
that.
the card out. And then they would go, and then they would take it out of their pocket
But if
because
they know that's the
there's-
protocol that you've instructed them to, then there's
Yeah.
less chance that.
I agree, if that's your backup. Again, if we're like controlling our controllables, if we're not there, like we can tell them everything, but I do like that idea.
There's always a chance
As
to run it.
long as, because how are you gonna feel if they don't do that? Is it gonna be like, I told you to do that? And then if you're going to the on-site agent where they're like, hey, they didn't say anything about you. I don't know anything about you. And a lot of times the on-site agent gets paid less if there's another agent involved, yeah, right? And so if they've already done all this work and you're coming in, you're like, no, I told them to take the card. I guarantee that my card is in their glove compartment. How compelling is that argument, right? I guarantee, here's the text, I told her to tell you. Is that going to change the outcome? If you can have a record of how you reached out to them, you told them. That's way, because I get into a lot of these disputes with builders. I talk to, the leaders of these builders to try to help our agents do these disputes. I spend time doing that. And
It's just another layer.
it's another layer. Yeah, if you can have it be your backup, I'm on board.
I do think it's important to have that conversation during your consultation. It's no different than a for sale by owner. If they contact them first, you're gonna have a much harder time getting paid.
Yep.
So if they want you to be able to negotiate on their behalf and represent them, I can represent you in a variety of different ways. And here's all the areas that I can represent you. And most of the time when you say new construction, they go, oh,
I didn't know.
I didn't
It's
even know
so
you could
true.
help with new construction. Do I need an agent for that?
Yeah.
Yes, you do. And here are the reasons, right? It's really
Well, and I
great.
would also draw off of, when we're talking about like, the value that you bring, I would draw off of other people's experiences. So be curious with your agents, because the things that happen within your brokerage, they're yours to lean on too. Whether it's happened to you or not, you can lean on those experiences. So ask around. I don't know what your communication forum is here, if it's like Facebook or if you have a chat or whatever that is. Ask people, hey, what have your experiences been? How have you added value? I'll give you an experience that I had. I was representing somebody building an ivory home. We went to the 4-way walk, which is
2, 3, 4 plus window.
Yeah, okay, plus it is. And I noticed right away they had, when the clients had chosen this lot, when my buyers chose the lot, the houses on both sides were under construction. By the time we went to the four-way, they had just completed the landscaping map too. And what had happened is when they set the footings, you can't tell really how high the foundation's going to be at footing. So the foundation was set, and then when it was all framed, I was like, oh, whoa, wait a minute. So they set the foundation low. And the house to the side of it, they had put a retaining wall in, and it was on the property line. It wasn't encroached or anything. But you could see the way that it was graded out, because my clients said they wanted as flat of a driveway as possible. So I was good. They set it low, which builders don't like doing that, because dirt management is very expensive. It's a lot. It's thousands to move dirt. So you don't always have the place to disperse it throughout your community. So that's why a lot of times you'll see foundations higher. It's a money cost. It's a savings. It's either a water table or a money savings. So right away I saw that side. They hadn't graded out our lot yet, my client's lot yet, but that where the retaining wall was on this side. I knew that these guys were going to buy a boat and they were going to do their own RV pad, but I knew that there was going to be a gap that was going to be from where the foundation was of the house. It was going to be about 2.5 to 3 feet. So if you're backing in a trailer and you fall down onto your driveway, right? And so right away I was like, oh, because my people wanted to do it. They had somebody that owned a concrete company. So they wanted to do the RV pad themselves. So right then I had to say, oh, wait, we got to fix this, because, and the people next door hadn't moved in yet, but the retaining wall was already there. Can you help us, Aaron? He's my guy, right? I already have this relationship with Aaron. Aaron, can you help us? This isn't going to be enough width for the RV pad. If they're going to put their retaining wall in to lower this down so they don't have a 2.5 foot gap, then it's going to encroach. We only have 12 feet, and that's going to make it be 10. And that's not going to fit for their trailer and their boat. Can you help us figure this out? So then he was able to go get the cost. It cost, I think, like $3,500 or $4,000 to redo the wall. So it's still on the line, but they were able to take some of the dirt out of their side, redo that line so that their RV pad was flat. They love me so much because they didn't notice it. They wouldn't have noticed it, that kind of thing. So use that. Say, here's an example of something, like use my experiences, use each other's experiences that you can show you're another set of eyes to have watch out for. I knew, because we had seen all these other houses that had big RV pads. So there's no way Aaron would have known that. We didn't talk about it because I already knew they were going to do their own thing.
That's why they bought the lot. So
so they had that, and that would have totally messed up the whole thing, right? And there's times that I missed stuff, of course, but that is one time that I'm like, oh, no, we got to fix this. And they were willing to pay for it to make sure that it was right. But it would have been really hard if we'd gone any further. If any concrete was poured, it would have been a mess. It would have been really hard. Okay, so one of the things that's helpful in talking to your builders is sometimes you can get deals if your buyer carries their own construction loan, especially a small builder. And you can get, no matter what the price is, there's some really good options. And I think you guys have a good lender here. That'd be a great class to have, is for them to come and talk. There's really great programs for new homes right now that I've seen buyers negotiate in being able to carry their own financing and reduce, because the builder has fees, big fees in carrying the costs that can reduce the price and have good incentives for builders. So we won't go too much into that. I think that'd be a good thing for your, preferred lender or whatever to give you some answers on, because there's big new construction incentives and stuff like that. That's a way that you can maybe help reduce the price or, overall fees and stuff if they carry that.
generally only going to work with a really small builder, because the majority will never allow that, because they're not in control of their takedown.
I don't know. I've seen it both ways, and it depends on the community. Everybody's doing different stuff. I don't know if you've noticed, Ivory, in Salt Lake County, they're doing these little pocket. They're building houses, like 4 or 5 houses. They're developing these little infill pieces. Never would I ever have thought Ivory would do that. And they're doing really high-end little pockets. Board and Mylar. Board and Mylar. I just walked through the most beautiful house, and I felt bad for everything I've ever thought about in the past, because were not known for beautiful houses. They were known for the cheapest, you're paying for the doorbell type house. And I walked through this gorgeous house and I was like, I called him, Gordon, this is amazing. And he said, that's a totally different house now. So this is a really good time to be curious with what they're doing and ask if there is anything like that. Okay, so in the process, so it's just like their quick kind of an order of how it goes. It's gonna be a little bit different depending on where the home is already in the process. And we'll make sure you guys have these slides too. And this is information that I like to give to my clients. So they do a new construction home. This is what your process is. And just so that they can follow along. A tip that I will give you in the design process is have them bring with them the things they know, something from the things they know they're going to bring with them. Because you have to choose color in the same light. Okay, so it'll look different depending on the type of light, and design centers don't have the same light that you'll have in the home. This light is not the same light you'll have in the home. So I always tell them to bring a cushion from a couch, if they're like a drawer, if there's a piece of furniture that they like, because even woods, it's tricky, especially if they're doing wood cabinet, wood floor. This is the only thing that you walk away with. There is actually no black color. There is no white color. There is no, black is made of a billion different colors, as a million shades of black. There's a million shades of white. There's purple black, green black, blue black, brown black. There's no true. So depending on what you're putting with that, it'll change. And they shouldn't be the expert on that. They shouldn't have to understand what the different our values are in color. Okay, that's so if they can bring something that's in the same light. The other thing is when you're in the design center, you want always look at things in how they are installed. So flooring, always look at it flat. Always look at it flat and always back up at least 10 feet. That's how you'll get the true color. Anything that's going on the wall, always look at it vertical. Because the paint color looks different like this than it looks like this. Same with cabinets. So you always want to like set it up with your wall, your cabinet, your flooring. So it's like this within the same light. And then if they have something from home, physically bring that so you can see it all together. And then I always take a picture of the back that has the labels. Have it all together. There's so many times people have called when the house is stuck up. I didn't order. They don't realize that there's a color code after, right? So people get panicky. And the colors will look different. It's just if you can tell them just out front, it's gonna look different in your home. So 9 times out of 10, I will tell you when there's been a panic, it's the wrong tile, it's the wrong carpet, it's the wrong this, it's wrong, it is right. It is right. It's either a different dialog or which the builders don't have control over that, or it's a
or they forget what it looks like.
Or they forget what it looks
They're
like.
looking at their picture and they're like, this just looks so different.
It
And
also
you're like,
affects-
it's like, it's literally the same. It says that in there.
It also affects what they're wearing that day. So if you're wearing something that's really brightly colored and you're looking at it and you have pictures, it'll change, it'll affect that. So I always take pictures. And I always have them, the design center, I'll have them send me that information and I'll just verify. Because when there is problems, it's usually just a type, we're just all people, all of us, we're just doing our damn best, right?
Yeah.
And so it can be a quick error. And the other thing that's crazy is you'll have like this wall color could be called, volcano sage crimson, right? The names of colors do not describe the actual color. So that can be really confusing and kind of sway things. So if you can just keep good notes with that, I always take, it kind of makes me a little nervous, but like, hey, for my own personal, it's helpful for me. And if there's ever a time that you can get hard samples too, that's helpful too. Like actual carpet, really try to not have them pick from a picture that's hard. So an actual, those are tips that I've found that are helpful. Pinterest is your worst enemy when you're building a home, because every single thing can be done for $1, $100, and you're gonna go to Lowe's and trim out your entire house. So also setting the expectation when they're building a house, that even if they got absolutely everything they want, and it's so perfect, the first time they go onto Pinterest, they would do something different. So it's a series of negotiations just within themselves, and you carry the advantage with that, where you know when you're talking to the lender before they go to the design center, okay, what can they spend? And you can help them with that. So what's most important? What's something you can change in the future? What's something that will be harder to change in the future? So your big expenses are gonna be countertop upgrades, cabinet upgrades, flooring upgrades. The huge, anything that has to do with labor is so expensive right now. So tile surrounds, in the bathrooms, those kinds of things are gonna be big upgrades and expensive to add, and that is something they can do in the future, right? So help them kind of think through some of those things as they go. How easy would this be to change in the future? And then have them, just like we talked, you're helping them look through for a house. What are their must-haves? What are the non-negotiables? What do you absolutely have to? Because when you're in the moment, I built an investment property once, and with my friend, and we would pick everything out, and there was this most beautiful granite. Granite was such the thing at the time, and this granite that was so pretty, and we were not upgrading anything. Just in my defense, I only wanted one thing. I asked for one thing, and she wouldn't let me get it. She's like, "This granite is included. We're not spending $2,000 on that. That makes no sense." And I was so mad, like my freedom was taken away. And then when the house was built, I didn't even remember about that. That's right. I didn't walk in immediately think like, "It'd be good if you have a granite." So in the moment, it just feels like you have to have it all. And those designers, they do show it so that they can see, so that people need to know what they're choosing from, right? You just need to set the expectation. It can be overwhelming. I'm going to help you. But before you get there, what are some of the things that you absolutely have to have? What are your dreams? And then get something fun. Like, yeah, maybe it's too much for that one thing, but you love it. Get something that you just love so much. So let's be smart on the other things that don't mean as much to you, so we can do something really fun. Okay? Any other thoughts or anything like that?
Did you mention about structural? So I always tell people like to spend more money on structural than they do on cosmetic.
Yeah.
Because that cosmetic can be changed in 10 years. Structural, yeah.
Yeah, and that's gonna happen before you go to the design center. And then it'll affect the overall price too. So again, it's thinking through one of those things is the RV pad, right? What are some of the things that you're thinking that you'll want in the future? Helping them through resale. Getting the third car garage over getting the flooring that they wanted or whatever those things. 100%.
And they could redo the flooring in 5 years.
Yeah. Like, let's plan for redoing that floor.
Yeah.
Like, how could we
Or a
do that?
walkout in your basement that you're.
Yeah.
Could have paid 800 for and now.
Oh, shoot.
Personal experience.
Exactly that.
Personal experience.
Exactly that. And
You wanted to stay with the budget.
yeah,
I'm thinking too about plumbing and electric. Because even if you don't want a water softener, that's not important to you, but for resale, just to already
Yeah,
have it
that.
run, so you have the hookup for it.
Yeah,
and a space
extra
for it.
electrical outlet.
Yeah.
it just adds up so fast, because again, that's all labor. So it's a balance with it, right? Because you go to the Home Depot and you're like, no, this can light's $10. Why are you charging me $250 to add a can light? It's just the labor, right? And everything, they have to come back a couple of times for that. So it's hard to understand that it does all add up. But there's ways if you have a good relationship with the on-site agent. I always ask them in the very beginning, what's the average upgrade people are spending on structural? What's the average upgrade people are spending at the design center, so you can choose the right home with that already in mind. If you're maxing them out and getting them, maybe it's better for them to do a little bit smaller home or maybe a different lot, so they can get the walkout. We're gonna get that. We're never making that mistake again. We are getting a walkout, and you can get the third car garage and still do the cabinets you want, right?
And I also think it's so critical when you're in model homes to ask them, like, hey, what, tell us in here.
Yeah.
What do we need? Cause if she loves this model, what do we need to plan
Yeah.
on that are upgrades? Cause you're gonna walk in and depending on the builder, you've got $200,000 in upgrades on your main level, right? So you've got to know to ask that question too. I think it's really critical. So then they're like, oh, okay, I could see where this is an upgrade, but that's not something I necessarily care about.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now maybe you can bump out the kitchen, have a bigger dining space or whatever.
Yeah. And the things that annoy them about the floor plan now will always annoy them. The things that annoy them about the design stuff, yeah, it always will. The things that annoy them about a lot right today will always annoy them. The things that annoy them about the design stuff, they can fix it, right? So that's the way to kind of do it. Any other thoughts on this part? We're getting close to the end. Are you guys doing okay? We didn't take any breaks. We did awesome.
We're doing good.
Okay. All right, so the paper trail is really important. Staying in touch along the way, be proactive in that. This is another thing. So remember, what was the thing I told you that if you only remembered that one thing, I'd feel great? Two more things. Oh, remember that? No, it was, there is no black, there is no white. Another thing, this is, in my experience, the most critical part. When you're starting this process, whether it's a spec home, finished home, they're building a process, you have to have a communication conversation with this on-site agent and your client. You have to communicate that. I had an experience, 2005, this guy was moving his family from California. He lived here, his family was still in California. And I sent him an email every week about, he was busy, about the progress of the house. It was taking over a year to build houses at that time. There was a huge concrete shortage and things like that. I had like 75 houses going at the same time. It was insane. So I had my process. I know that I emailed him every week. And it was the way that I was managing it all. They closed on the home and the division president called me and he's like, Emily, you just got the worst review. They had a horrible experience. Can you tell me, like, it would have helped you if you were struggling? Why didn't you ask for help? And I was like, what are you talking about? I felt terrible. And it said, I never knew what was going on. You didn't communicate with me, blah, 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 blah. So I bought this like ridiculous overcompensation basket and took it to their house and the wife answered. And I'd only talked to her on the phone a couple times. And the husband had said, she just really, this is an emotional move for her, doesn't want to be involved. I'm taking care of it. Like, so I was following their wishes, I thought. And I said, hey, I got this review and I just wanted to tell you that I'm so sorry. I wanted you to have a good experience. Is there anything you can share with me that can make it better? I don't ever want anybody to feel this way. I'm really sorry. It's too long for you to have had a bad experience. And she said, yeah, you never communicated with me. And I was like, I emailed you every week. And she's like, I don't even know my email address. She was on it. I don't even know my password. I never look at my email. So if I would have had a communication conversation from the very beginning, what's the best way for me to communicate? Yeah, so then I was like,
Taking it back.
but see for her,
You'll get the basket pumpkin. Brought it to the next meeting.
no, she was having her own emotional experience, right? And didn't want to move. And so like, it was like her story of why she had her own stuff in it. Yeah, the other experience I had is my best friend, the one I bought the house with. She was my model home partner once, and we had this lady. She's not human. She's like evil. She was so awful. I've never worked with somebody worse ever. And she had sent us this nasty email, and it was a 4-way. And so I responded to Brandy in the way that you would respond to your best friend, like, okay, which you shouldn't ever do that. Immediately response from her, the lady. Okay, well, at least I know how you feel about me, blah, 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 blah. Again, when we closed. So the first one was with Richmond American 2005. This one was with Henry Walker, same division president, because he started Henry Walker with us. This was in like 2012, okay? Got another review where she wrote like, filled in all the boxes, and then she wrote like in tiny letters all the way around, and then on the back side all the way around. And he's like, Emily, did you send her an email saying that you thought like all of this, blah, blah, blah? And I'm like, yeah, I did do that. I did that. And recently, within this year, you guys, we're 2025, I was in Cafe Rio, and this lady walked in, and I was like I'm hiding with my kids, like trying to get out. I feel horrible because that was a total, I've never done anything like that before. I was having a moment. Communication is really, really important. And the way you're doing that. So if you have a communication conversation with that on-site agent of what you want to be involved in and how you can help with that, that you're setting the expectation for what that looks like. So nobody feels like they're out of the loop or not understanding what's going on. And that you can advocate for your client and be a good partner with the on-site agent. It makes everybody's experience better. And then when you have to do a hard line, you already have the rapport with that agent where you can say, well, that's just not gonna work for us, so let's talk about other solutions. And let them help advocate for you as well. It goes so much further. If you're a pain the whole way through, your chances of helping your client get what they want are gonna be much harder because they're your voice to the builder. The on-site agent is your voice to the builder. Okay. So can you move your stuff in before you close?
No.
No. Can we just get over it? I swear that's like always a thing. You've got to talk to your clients about an A plan and a B plan. A plan, they sell their house, they move in, phenomenal. Everything's great. B plan.
Move in with your in-laws and hate life for 2 weeks.
I think I would tell you. But 2 weeks of your life to have this great house.
Airbnb, yeah.
Right? We have really great Airbnb options now. And those pods, they can put their stuff in. If you can 6 months ahead of time, have a conversation about how this works. It also, you're putting your clients in danger if they move in. If there is some, because a lot of times the insurance will not protect their stuff if something happens. And so just, anyway, keep that in mind. And this is your opportunity to really, you get to spend a lot of time with this person, this client, right? Over the build process. It's an opportunity to build these reputations for life, right? Or these relationships for life. And if you can really try to carry the rapport with your client, then it's so easy to get referrals and get help. And so one of the things I do is I do this gifting program where I send them presents when they give me referrals, and most of those come from my new construction clients where I'll send them over 6 months time when I get a referral, when the referral closes, so I'm not paying them for the referral. I pay them $250 is the most we can give for if someone gives you a referral. So I take the $250 and give them 6 gifts over 6 months as a thank you. Put them in my client gifting program. That helps me get new people. That's part of what I do, but you have a great opportunity. And so every new construction deal will give you more deals. I know. Any other?
Emily, do you have a company that you use for your gifting? I feel like you've told me before and I don't remember who it is.
Yeah, they changed the name of it again. I'll get it. And
Okay.
Thanks. We started actually doing it ourselves.
Have you?
So we built that out in our.
You get it to Bradley, then he can control every.
So I can give you the other one.
No, I mean the gifting.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll send you the one I used to use before we built our own. Okay. So final thoughts. Stu, you want to represent a builder? You want to represent a builder, right? Mm-hmm. So I would love to talk to you a little bit more about that. There's a lot of opportunity out there, but because you can't solicit another listing, right?
Right.
So there's ways to go about it that you can't, it's the same thing. You can't go to a builder and say, can I represent you? If he has an agent, you're doing the same thing. So there's a ways to go about doing that. And I'd love to talk to you more about that. But,
is that Emily part 3?
I
think that's
Emily
part
that's
2, right?
No, that's that's but tell me give me some thoughts. What questions do you have? Thoughts that you have? Anything else that we need to go through?
I love it. Do you guys have any questions?
So is your developer part, is your Emily part 2, the construction?
The part 2 is we go through the representing a builder, and then we go like really deep kind of into the entitlements, like what that is to create a development, and then how to attract a seller and help with the product and like kind of some connection, not kind of totally some connections that you can make and help them with, how you can add value to a seller who's looking to do communities, even if they've done a lot. So I've helped launch some builders. I think I can look here. Yeah, so Castle Creek, they're up here. And they actually in Salt Lake County became Concord Homes, the same thing. Helped launch Keystone, Lafferty in Utah. And so there's a lot of the process I've been able to learn the hard way and make a lot of mistakes along the way and then do some things accidentally right. And so there's just a lot of opportunity with that. And I will tell you that where it starts in representing a builder is having a relationship with the agent. Knowing the community. That's something that, or knowing the builder, really familiarizing yourself with what they're doing. That's a big shortfall for us to go and ask for business without having any prior knowledge or curiosity or interest. So the more you know about a development or a builder, or familiarizing yourself with what's out there, then you can discover, okay, what do they need and how can I connect them with it? If you don't have something to write a prescription for, then you're just giving amoxicillin for everything.
Oh, I love that.
Right? For anything. It doesn't work for everything.
Closing it.
No, I love that. That's a great analogy.
Yeah, amoxicillin doesn't cure everything. So if we don't know what we're trying to cure, we can't write the right prescription.
Love it.
Awesome. Okay, any other thoughts? I feel like we answered some of your questions. Do you feel like you learned anything?
Yes, that was so good.
Windows.
How many
Oh,
times have you
thank
said
you.
windows
Windows.
today?
Third one that you should take away. The only guarantees in life are death, taxes, and concrete cracks. It's literally impossible for concrete to not crack. They pour it so it will crack, so does it shift. They're the only guarantees. People get so freaked out about crack. It's going to crack, it's supposed to. It's just how wide and how deep.
Love it. Thank you.
All right, that's fine.
I think we can give her a little more energy than that. Hey, it sounds like maybe they're gonna want volume 2, Emily, so
Okay.
we'll call you.
Okay.
And thanks for sharing everything
Thank
and
you.
resources.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
And Bradley is the marketing piece that I did the buyer. I'll send that to you.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
The one question.